Ron, it's so good to see you, my friend. Oh my God,
Good to see you.
it's been a long marinating situation. We have a lot of history, and
Absolutely. Many
and
years background.
and I'm just excited about how the universe have connected us in a time such as this. Um, and we've all experienced so much going through this pandemic, and just how it has affected us, from people losing their jobs to health situations.
Yes.
Relationships have gotten better, some have gotten worse. Just so many different things that has just happened. I've had some things happen to me personally that I've had to deal with at my house. So but
Yes.
so so this segment, keeping it real, I just really want us to be honest as much as we can, so we can help people and we can generate conversation, and also and provide resources where people can get some help based on different topics that we're going to be talking about through the various segments. And so what do you think? How you feel?
I feel great. I think this is a great opportunity for us to speak on whatever topic we may be discussing at the time, have some conversation, share some personal experiences, should we have had any. I think it's an excellent opportunity to get a word out and get a message out to
Yep.
people and share and
Yep.
have some real talk.
Yep. Absolutely. Keeping it real, as we call it.
Definitely.
So so this,
Absolutely.
so this is, I know this is the end of October, and but I deal because of Body by Both, we're dealing with health, mind, body, soul, and spirit, which is, I didn't know you had a tooth.
Tattoo. Woohoo!
so we're about helping people live a holistic life, and that is because I remember in my early life I was so focused on one aspect of my life, which was basketball, and I just really wasn't focused on the other piece of my life. So I realized through some health issues that I realized how important it is to live a balanced life, and so that's what we're about, and that's how we're gonna be coming to you all on a monthly basis, and sometimes twice a month, just depends on the situation. But just to talk about issues that can help us become better, a whole person. And so this month, October, is Domestic Violence Month, and we just want to have a little conversation around that, and come back and have and allow people, you all, to come and ask some questions and be able to get some resources to help you. So, how do you feel about this domestic violence issue around during this pandemic, Ron? Have you know anyone personally who's going through it, or how do you? What's your take on it?
Right now, let me start out with a few statistics. 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men actually experience rape, physical violence, stalking by an intimate partner.
Mm-hmm.
1 in 10 high school students experience physical violence. 24 people per minute
Wow.
become victims of
What?
rape, physical violence, or stalking by an intimate partner.
Mm.
3 in 10 women, 1 in 10 men have experienced physical violence, rape,
Wow.
stalking by an intimate partner in the U.S. alone. Those are some large numbers right now.
Yeah. That's significant.
During this pandemic, it's more of a risk because people are at home.
Right.
You have stay-at-home orders. They're very opening, but there's still an increase in stressors as a result
Yep.
of the pandemic. Schools remain closed, but then they're opening up, and then it's mostly virtual. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of camps activities were canceled during the summer. Kids are at home.
Right.
Families feel crowded,
Yep.
frustrated that they
Yep.
can't escape one another.
Exactly.
At the same time, they're isolated from extended family.
Yep.
and friends, and no longer participate in enjoyable and relaxing activities.
Right. And
There's also the threat of COVID-19 itself.
yep.
People are afraid of catching it, especially if they're essential workers and cannot work from. I can't work from home. I have to go to work.
Right.
I'm in the manufacturing field. Manufacturing has to continue. So, it's hard.
Yeah.
You may have had a relative required hospitalization, and you can't visit them.
Exactly.
I've known family friends that have passed. Couldn't visit them at the hospital.
Can't visit. Those stories. Those stories are really heartening to see that people can't love on their loved ones at their most critical. When they're leaving this earth. And but back to those statistics. Those are huge statistics. And so many people in domestic violence situations, their jobs,
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Their jobs and their school was their outlet.
Yes.
That was their outlet. Even just people who need to go work out, they can't go to the gym. So there was a lot of no outlets was stopped, and as a result, it has, like you said, it has created some other health issues because they don't have those releasers.
Absolutely. Look at the financial stress. You may have been furloughed or laid off or something.
Yep.
Families are likely to encounter more arguing.
Right.
Domestic violence may never existed, but may exist now during this pandemic because of these tight situations.
Getting on people's nerve. Just the anything can really agitate couples now with the high level of stress. And because I know last week I had a tough week. I mean, just from stress work within itself. I'm not experiencing a domestic violence situation, but if I was in some type of domestic violence situation, on top of the work stress, on top of the other stress just going on, I can see how those are easy triggers for people because they don't know what to do with it. And that's why you need to know what to do with these issues when they come. How to balance. How to go to another room or put on some music. Go for a walk. We need to know how to do those things.
Absolutely. I mean, you look at the fact people are at home. Alcohol use.
Yep.
Dramatically can increase. People don't have those outlets to go out anymore or whatever. More alcohol may excite people or whatever and cause things to not be pleasant. Put it that way. It's hard. Look at people with PTSD. Triggers like that. You witnessed abuse. You grew up you're a veteran, military veteran. You grew up in a neighborhood that was violent or what, These type of things can definitely trigger people to react a certain way, and then they don't have the outlet to be outside so much or what. Situations can happen.
Right. Yeah, and then I was talking to a friend of mine. She works with domestic violence organization in New Jersey, and she was saying how so many women get caught up in these circumstances now. They don't have no outlet. So what they've been doing is, like, if you're living next door to someone, they have like these codes where they just knock on the wall for they'll make maybe 3 knocks, meaning that they're in trouble. And then there was some places I've read where they have maybe they do a family photo, and then they would put the photo in the window, meaning that if you see the family photo, that means everything is okay. But if you don't see the photo, that means we're in trouble.
Okay. That's good. That's definitely good. I mean, when I was looking up information and I went on one of the websites, it said, if you feel your computer is being watched or what, click on this and go to this or whatever to go in a safe thing so it couldn't be monitored by the abuser. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they have different things in place to work
Yeah.
with them. So it's kind of on the same lines of what you're
Right.
talking about,
Right.
and
There's
having neighbors to work with one another for signs.
and there's a lot of organizations that provide you know, services for people who are experiencing hard time as well. Safe Horizon out of New York is a great organization, and they actually are the one released my story about the sexual abuse. They very supportive of giving people resources. So I definitely will be bringing some of them on board to have some discussion and give us some resources as well. Safe Horizon. Have you heard of them?
No, I have not heard of them.
Yeah, they're very good organization that support all kind of violence issues, rape, domestic violence, sexual abuse, you name it, child molestation, whatever. They're very good advocates of them. Safe Horizon, close to them.
Excellent.
So,
Excellent. Well, there's actually a crisis text line. You know, a lot of kids
okay.
nowadays love to text and
Oh
everything.
yeah, yeah.
You could text the word home, HOME, to
Okay,
741 741.
okay.
741 741, text home, and you know, you can communicate with someone if you feel like you are in a situation.
Right.
You know, there's the
That's
National Child Abuse Hotline that you can call,
yeah. I
National
can
Domestic Violence Hotline,
right.
Futures Without Violence. There's numerous places that you can definitely connect with
Hmm.
that can help and have resources to help you.
Right, right. It's good it's at the fingertips for our young people because we know they are on the phone a lot, and so having easy
Mhm.
access is definitely very important. And then being able to talk to the parents. I think there's also this whole thing about when something is happening. Like when do you talk about it? And who
There's
you talk.
actually a national parent hotline too.
Okay.
That parents can call in and they can get help if they're seeing signs of something possible,
Right.
or there's a concern. So there's a national parent hotline just as well.
Hmm.
Definitely.
Now, on this whole topic of domestic violence, I have family members who actually experienced domestic violence quite some years. From a family of 20, and I have 19 siblings, 11 sisters, and in majority, all of them have experienced some form of domestic violence, even it's emotional abuse, physical abuse, uh, you know. So I know from personal experience that this is a serious issue, and
Absolutely.
and a lot of time, I was sitting around, I was talking to a friend of mine. I said, you can have a discussion about why do we stay. I think there was a campaign going on a couple of years ago, why I stay or why didn't I say anything, or something. It was like, but why do I stay, basically? And so, Safe Horizon was one of those people who kind of picked that whole hashtag, why did I stay? And so there's a lot of reasons why people stay in their relationships, and I think those are things that need to be need to be talked about from financial standpoint to kids, and but really at the end of the day, from my experience, and I've seen it from my own family, when people stay in a relationship, they think they are helping their kids, but they really harming those kids by staying. I've seen nieces and nephews just really just go ballistic, or they change their relationship with their own parents. Changes because you staying in this relationship, you allowing this person to abuse you. Those kids don't like that.
They end up losing respect for the parent
Yep, absolutely.
because the parent doesn't step up and aren't strong. A lot of times they see that too, and they think that's the way you love somebody. So they grow up being abusers themselves
Hmm.
because they think that's the form of love. That's what
Right,
they've known growing up,
right,
and that's what they've been taught
right,
um,
right.
in a situation. But then, like domestic violence isn't just physical, it is
It's
mental,
not.
it is
It's not.
emotional.
It's
Yeah.
emotional. It's anybody.
I mean,
If they degrading you with bad words, they not
mhm.
speaking positivity in your life, and they not, and you can tell, and I think a lot of times we dismiss those because we think that person loves us. That's what I would tell somebody. Love is relative, and love is different for different people. Um, for me, love may look like a Coke bottle. To someone else, love may look like a orange. And so I think that's where it starts too. That we all have our own experiences based with our own families and so forth. And so we've shaped, just kind of helped shape us what love looks like, and we don't.
Absolutely.
There's no book of life that shows you how
That's true.
to live a certain way or how to handle certain things. We learn, as they say, your life lessons are your best experience. But I think if we can have I believe in conversation. I remember when I was, being molested or being abused, I felt like if I had just had that, if I knew I could have had that conversation with someone, or if I feel like it would have been different. I feel like it would have been different.
Absolutely could have been different. You also have to realize that in families, you have that conversation and then they want to keep it quiet and just don't speak about it away and just silence it. And then you feel ashamed or embarrassed or whatever because something happened to you that you didn't ask for.
Right.
I mean, I had a situation when I was in college. I started dating a young man and we were together and intimate and stuff. And, I said no, and they wouldn't listen. I ended up being raped in college.
Wow.
Situations happen.
Yeah.
They definitely do. It's how you recover from them and you try and work through them still to this day.
Yeah, absolutely.
If things come back at times.
Yeah. And still, that's what I'm saying. Abuse is abuse. In domestic violence abuse, emotional abuse, sexual abuse, it's just abuse. And those are traumas that they stick with us. And I know. I was abused for it's like all my young life. It's like I remember being sexual abused, sexual assaulted. No matter where I went, I always thought, wow, did I wear something wrong? Did I do something wrong? What did I do to gain that type of attention? And so you do start questioning yourself, and we have to realize, and that's why I did a campaign. I'm not going to show it, but it's called "It's Not Your Fault," and I think that's what we have to realize too. It's not our fault that these things happen, but we need outlets. We need outlets. We need conversation. We need resources. We need to know that it's okay to have the conversation. Like you said earlier, stop keeping the secrets. Stop keeping the secrets, especially in families.
That's family embarrassment. You don't want to bring it up. It's just lots have happened in our families. Lots of things were not talked about. Things still to this day, 50 years later or whatever, are still not wanting to be talked about. These secrets and such.
Right.
And, that's just Uncle so and so or Aunt so and so or whatever.
Right.
Now, they need to be discussed. We need to move forward.
We do.
In a positive direction.
Exactly.
There's too much negativity holding it in because it eats away, and that's when you get physically sick. You're already emotionally sick.
Exactly.
You get physically sick, and you don't want to bring yourself down any further.
Right. That internal, what's it called? I don't know what the term is, but when you internalize something, that what causes, like you said, health and cancer is one of the main.
Absolutely.
If cancer love, you internalize it. My mother was she internalized a lot of stuff, and I really do believe that was her biggest, the reason why she ended up having cancer. She just internalized so much information, didn't share it, and I don't want to be like that. My life, whatever I can do to help other people, and I just recently, started getting in that space of sharing. But it was so relieving. It was so healing, and just to be able to have those free conversations. And I think the first thing we have to have a conversation with ourselves.
Absolutely.
Have a conversation with ourselves.
Be truthful.
And be true to yourself first, and then you can how you choose to share, and at what level. Then it's up. Then you can go from there. But if you can't be true to yourself, when you look in the mirror every day, you gotta be able to say self. This is what happened, and this is what you need to do.
Understand you're a beautiful creation of God.
Right.
Bottom line.
Bottom line.
So whatever comes at you,
Right.
face it head on. Don't ignore it. Don't internalize it. Let's move forward. Let's make this happen. How do I make it happen? There's resources out there.
Mm-hmm.
There's people out there to be able to assist you
Mm-hmm.
in whatever direction you want to go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Ron, if you was speaking to a female right now, and she's stuck in this marriage, and she doesn't know what to do. She had situations where, you know, she don't, people tell her she needs to leave this person, but she don't want to leave. You know, what would you say to her?
I would just do my best to educate her and tell her that there's resources out there to help her, and share those resources with her, honestly. You can't force someone to do something.
Right.
You know, they have to be ready. They have to be open and receptive to that.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, there's not much you can say other than to offer the resources and let them know that you're there.
Right.
You know, you don't need to speak and tell them what they need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Or what, offer the resources and be an ear for them,
Mm-hmm.
so they can share with you, to open up, so they can become more comfortable to want to help their situation.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel, you know, because nobody wants to be in a situation and be told what to do, because then you're just gonna, you know, try and fight it in that sense. Or why are you? Who are you telling me what to do? Whatever, you know. No. Offer them the resources of what's available out there. Be an ear to listen, and be able to listen without jumping in, interrupting them.
Right.
Let them
Well,
feel
look,
comfortable.
we're gonna have to get off of here. Our time is up. Thank you, guys. We're gonna keep it real. Stay tuned for our next one. Thank you so much, Ron. We're looking forward to come back into your living room, or your sofa, and your beach, wherever you're gonna be to listen in. Take care.
Take care. Bye.